Bangkok restaurant has been cooking and serving from the same soup for over 45 years. This island was renamed Just Enough Room Island, having just enough room for one house. Japan uses sprinklers that spray warm underground water to melt the snow on the roads. An ectopic pregnancy that implanted in the liver, 23 weeks gestation. The truck stop I was staying at last night caught fire, and luckily I had my drone. List of 164 songs that radio stations were not supposed to play immediately following the 9/11 attacks. Here are all of the songs Clear Channel wanted skipped over. 3 Doors Down, Duck and Run. 311, Down. AC/DC, Shot Down in Flames. AC/DC, Shoot to Thrill. AC/DC, Dirty Deeds. AC/DC, Highway to Hell. AC/DC, Safe in New York City. AC/DC, TNT. AC/DC, Hell's Bells. Adlibs, The Boy from New York City. Alanis Morissette, Ironic. Alice in Chains, Rooster. In March 2020, water taps in a village near Medina, Italy started pouring Lambrusco wine for a few hours. Far from a biblical intervention, this was due to an overpressure incident in the nearby winery that connected to the mains pipe. Whiteout, aka Simo Hoiho, was a Finnish sniper in World War II, who holds the record for the most confirmed kills, 505, in any major war. He survived a serious bullet injury and lived up to 96 years. The USAF's new strategic stealth bomber, the B-21 Raider. Archaeological evidence of a crucifixion from Roman Britain. Only 4 such examples are known worldwide. Cambridgeshire, UK, somewhere between 130 to 360 Common Era. All the trash I found in a 5x5 foot section of my forest. How are Pringles, Luke's and Chili, where mascots for unhealthy food products aren't allowed? This historic sign in hotel explains how to use electricity in case you had never used it before. This room is equipped with Edison electric light. Do not attempt to light with match. Simply turn key on wall by the door. The use of electricity for lighting is no way harmful to health, nor does it affect the soundness of sleep. An ancient Roman bridge spanning the Wadi al-Ma River in Mosul, Iraq. This Roman pedestrian crossing at Pompeii were designed to keep people from walking on mud, letting carts, horses pass through. Sunlight through this fountain in El Aquila, Italy, makes it look like it's pouring lava. One of the largest surviving Roman mosaic floors discovered in Turkey. They have a warping effect caused due to earthquakes, creating the impression of a giant blanket. Ojibwe peoples have a creation story of the world being on a turtle's back. Robandax of Giovanni Battista Bugatti, who was the official sectioner for the Papal States from 1796 to 1864. During his tenure, he CQ'd 514 people. A 120,000-year-old thongboom tree, found fossilized in northern Thailand. The tree was estimated to have stood at around 72 meters, 237 feet, high when it was still upright. This microscopic house is just 20 micrometers long. A tree full of bulk bears. The sun hitting these mountains makes them look like they're on fire. This specialized self-defense device appeared in a 1929 issue of Modern Mechanics. Samuel Schwarz designed it so that when the user raises his hands, he pulls strings attached to his lingers and activates a machine gun built into an armored vest. This looks like a huge shell, but is actually a rare giant amethystgiate rock from Uruguay. Remnants of Russian missiles fired at the city Kharkiv, Ukraine. People that really just used their newspaper editor as Google in 1940. This lizard's perfect tree bark camouflage. How your mouth pronounces words. Venezuelan currency is so worthless due to economic collapse that people turn currency notes into handcrafts and sell them to tourists for more than they are worth to spend. A dissected Furby. The place in Iceland where green fields, yellow river, bulk beach and blue sea meet. Jadap Payeng, from Assam in India, standing amidst the forest he created on a barred island by planting trees every day for nearly 37 years. The best preserved Lorica segmentata, Roman plate armor in the world to date, Corbridge Roman Site Museum, Hadrian's Wall, Northumberland, UK. A telescope view of Saturn. Here is an origami violin that I made from a uncut rectangle length sheet of paper. Lithops are Namibian and South African plants that have evolved to look like stones. A 1980s ad for a $3,000 10MB hard drive. Then and now of Main Street, Deadwood, South Dakota. Top photo from 1800s, bottom photo from recent years. This chimp is teaching a younger chimp to use stone tools. High resolution photo of rubicine, C26H14. Photographer Chris Pross tracks down the people he photographed 40 years ago, reunites them, and takes new pictures of them in the same location. Some haven't seen each other in decades. This is fossilized wood from Blue Forest, Wyoming, USA. It's 60 million years old. Covered in a glaze of botryoidal chalcedony. I woke up early in the morning to capture a rare event. The moon has eclipsed the planet Mars for an hour. In 1966, Buzz Aldrin took one of the very first space selfies. This picture has Aldrin with the pilot's hatch of the spacecraft open and Earth seen in the background. David Attenborough with a giant titanosaur's thigh bone. The 37 meters long and 70-ton titanosaur is the biggest known dinosaur ever to have lived. The 2.4 meters, 8 feet, thigh bone was found in Argentina in 2016. This specimen is believed to be 101.6 million years old. On December 7, 1972, the crew of Apollo 17 took this photo of Earth as they journeyed to the moon, known today as the Blue Marble. This picture has since become one of the most iconic images of our home world. This is what $0 currently gets you in Japan. To boost the economy, Japan gives out free money coupons to use in local supermarkets and restaurants. If you are in country traveling, we only spent a tenth of the money we got as coupons on this. Persistence hunting sequence. Desaturated Santa costume at SantaCon. Photo is unedited. Potatoes after being in a walk-in freezer for a while. The world's second stealth bomber. A student found an ancient Canadian village that's 10,000 years older than the pyramids. Here is an origami forest scorpion that I made from one uncut 38 cm square of paper. The 5-level Huangju interchange in China. Huge fish-shaped rock found in desert. The sea, snow, and sand alongside each other at a beach. Some baby hummingbirds are small enough to compare with a fly, for scale. The size of Alaska compared to Europe. This is not Mercator projection. Starfish being thick. For over 50 years, many believed the entity behind the girl to be a spaceman from an alien world, until experts revealed it's probably the girl's mother who was with her that day in a blue dress. Due to the settings of the camera, she was hugely overexposed, dyeing her dress white. Albino bald eagle, recently discovered at the Sequoia National Wildlife Refuge in Oklahoma. Japanese depiction of a Dutch Eastern gibbon. This shiny golden beetle I saw outside. Masra Hindu temple in India, carved out of a single rock. This gun from World War II was designed to be concealed in coat sleeves. Moon and Earth seen from the Orion spacecraft. 1941 Packard 98-door open-top tour bus. Lightning strike in Gaeta, Italy lights up the sky. Photo taken this summer. The Framoro map of the known world from 1450. The Paradiso Art Hotel in Ibiza offers the suite at zero cost, but the room has transparent glass walls, which means that everyone will see you. Northern Japanese Ainu are very similar to Coast Salish peoples on Vancouver Island culturally and genetically. Caught this lightning strike that caused one of the biggest fires of Mount Lemmon in Arizona, 2020. Cats with vitiligo, 2016, 2017, 2018. For its 40th anniversary in 2009, Hot Wheels made this 23-carat diamond encrusted car. The diamonds alone were worth $140,000. This gecko's perfect camouflage, except for the eye. Some interesting firecrackers from India. Ujala hydrogen bomb. Super awesome bin Laden Kulfa balls. Saddam atom bomb. Historic day for Boeing. Last 747, Queen of the Skies, rolls off the line. 1968 to 2022. Moon, Saturn and Jupiter composite made with images captured by my 4-inch telescope and smartphone. Harlem Hellfighters back from World War I wearing the Cross of War medals, taken 100-year age, 1919. Bibi Khana Mosque in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. Winston Churchill gets a doctor's note to drink unlimited alcohol in Prohibition America, 1932. This is to certify that the post-accident convalescence of the Honorable Winston S. Churchill necessitates the use of alcoholic spirits, especially at meal times. The quantity is naturally indefinite, but the minimum requirements would be 250 cubic centimeters. Details of one of the T columns representing people in Göbekli Tepe. It is about a 11,600-year-old stone, older than Egyptian pyramids and Stonehenge. Members of the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry in their trench on the Western Front, in 1917. November 21, 2013. Photo of Kyiv during the Ukrainian crisis that claimed the lives of over 100 protesters. Subsequently following these protests in 2014, Russia invaded regions where unrest had developed and annexed the autonomous Ukrainian region of Crimea. Library, Ephesus ancient city. German soldier in body armor, holding a steel hand granite in 1918. The view from Point 67. Canada's killing zone in the second half of the Battle of Normandy. Flags of Moldova, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Armenia, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan and Azerbaijan and San Marino are raised at the UN. March 1992. Flingate woman named Korkla wearing her potlatch dancing costume, Alaska, 1906. Football in no man's land during the 1914 Christmas truce. AB-24 crewman stands beside his plane, showing what it took to survive at 25,000 feet 1944 to 1945. Adolf Hitler is released from the Landsberg prison in 1924. He had previously been charged with treason for his involvement in the beer hall putsch, and was given a 5-year sentence for this. However, he only served 9 months in prison before being released. Dean Martin with his daughter Gail and Frank Sinatra with his daughter Nancy on the Dean Martin Show Christmas episode in 1967. Zatto's Bakery, Bleecker Street, New York, 1948 by Berenice Abbott. US Coast Guardsman Charles Tyner examines the shrapnel hole in the helmet he wore during the initial assault on the beaches of southern France. Tyner suffered only a minor scratch. 1944. Showgirls from casts of shows Oklahoma and Carousel being vaccinated against smallpox before curtain time. New York, 1947. Japanese scale model of Pearl Harbor made during World War II, estimated 1942, as a set piece for promotional filming. The photograph was brought back to the US after World War II. Women in Chicago being arrested for wearing one-piece bathing suits without the required leg coverings 1922. The world's first astronaut Yuri Gagarin on his boat, 1965. Spanish people at Fiesta, Taos, New Mexico, 1940. January 25th, 1948, Los Angeles, California. The Santa Fe F3A number 19L diesel passenger locomotive hangs over Aliso Street after running off the end of its track at Union Station. Colorized. October 1941 photo of Pearl Harbor looking roughly north towards AIA. USS Enterprise, CV-6, and USS Curtis, AV-4, along with 2 battleships are visible to the right of Ford Island, and several patrol squadrons of PBYs are parked at the seaplane base on the near end. An unknown figure watches as a Soviet tank invades his home. Prague, August 1968. This is what the first American life jackets for sailors looked like, 1917. New recruits, most of them teenagers, at a British Army base camp at Etaples, the 16th of July 1918. A Mongolian woman sentenced to starvation death, 1913, by Stefan Passe, appeared in National Geographic. A US soldier offers his hand to a woman leaving a cave, where she had hidden with her child during the battle between Japanese and American forces. Saipan, 1944. Rhythmic Class, Moscow, 1958, by Howard Socherek for the National Geographic. Robert L. May holding a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stuffed animal. Photo taken during the 1948 Christmas season to promote the release of the very first animated adaptation by Max Fleesch in 1948. Iranian soldier during the Iran-Iraq War, circa 1980s. Painted to scare peasants in the Chinese and North Korean armies, an Easy-8M Sherman tank of the 89th Tank Battalion advances along the Han River, Korea, February 18, 1951. Amish children in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, 1937. In 1938, former US President Herbert Hoover met privately with Adolf Hitler at Hermann Göring's hunting lodge, where Hoover was staying. A young French boy introduces himself to Indian soldiers who had just arrived in Marseilles to fight alongside French and British forces in World War I. September 30th, 1914. The last photograph of the Beatles together. August 22nd, 1969 at John Lennon's countryside estate. Ellen DeGeneres Senior prom photo, circa 1976, Atlanta High School in Atlanta, Texas. A crowd gathered in front of the City Hall in Strasbourg during the first session of the Council of Europe. The flag of the European movement flies in front of the building, a green, elongated and rigid letter E upon a white background. Strasbourg, France 1949. This post-mortem photo was taken in Maine, circa late 1800s to early 1900s. Look at the quality of the casket and the abundance of flowers. This woman was much loved and looks to be relatively young. A tragedy for the family indeed. Pope Paul VI and Patriarch Athenagoras shake hands as they meet at the Roman Catholic Apostolic Delegation atop the Mount of Olives. It was the first meeting in over 500 years between the Roman Catholic and Eastern Orthodox churches. Jerusalem 1964. A farmhouse in Rhode Island helped win World War II. Chopmist Hill Listening Station was legendary in the intelligence community for its ability to pick up radio transmissions, even weak ones, from around the world. 1942.